of Brian Ridge Pickleball here on the YouTube. And why is it so special? Because, kids, you're in for a treat. I am not featured in the game. We are filming 4 other humans, so you don't have to hear with me talk about how crappy I am or see how crappy I am firsthand. Instead, you get to see how great these 4 competitors are. We have, this is from Valentine's Day, and the reason I remember that, nice first point, is that lovely Sarah, the member of the finer gender, over there is in beautiful red for Valentine's. Jeremy almost got his acting gear. I can consider that more of a maroony thing, though. Not very red. Look at Ronnie firing with furious anger. God bless, these kids are whacking the ball. I feel sorry for Franklin. Somebody give that ball a hug. They're hitting it so hard. Oh, and speaking of balls getting hit hard, so you might need a minute. I could zoom forward, but instead I might zoom in. Oh, poor Jeremy. Jeremy suddenly singing falsetto in the choir this weekend. A whole new tenor to this young man's voice post that shot. Let's go back and look at that 7 or 8 times. Here we go. So we've seen some strong play. That's high ball. You need to finish this, Jeremy. Finish this point. Now it goes to Chris. Chris goes lob. Nice hard shot. Ronnie goes over and drive. Oh, I tried to get out of the way. Instead, he gets the boys in the way, and down goes Jeremy. Down goes Frazier. Poor Jeremy. This is my favorite video from a long time. Oh, my word. Please, medical attention. Somebody need to massage this young man. Please make it a full release event. All right, eventually he's going to get up. Blah, 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 blah. There he is. Oh, I'm so glad I filmed this. I had no idea that was going to be on film. Few things delight me more than to see the old crotch shot in any game involving a ball. Jeremy's still struggling back here. Valentine's Day. I think his wife's going to be a little saddened by the outcome of that play. We don't know. Hopefully recovered. We'll never find out. And we return to pickleball. Eventually, we return to pickleball. Apparently, Jeremy wasn't ready. Okay, last time I did this video, I didn't check. Apparently, my cat bumped my video camera, and it got away from the green screen, and you saw a bonus. You saw part of my office. This time, I think I've got it corrected, so you only see the beautiful look of me, as opposed to my guitars and other crap that I'm not very good at playing. All right, not only did he heal himself, but he and his partner are able to win the next rally. I don't know that I finished even talking about who we are. So we have Sarah, who's celebrating the Valentine's Day and then bemoaning her long serve. Her partner is Chris Torgerson. We've seen Chris a couple times on video already. We have the freshly wounded, falsetto-voiced Jeremy Jones. And to his left, about to serve, we have the pickleball stylings of Ronnie. Ronnie gets a little net love. Jeremy hustles up. And then Ronnie wins it down the middle. So why are we doing this? One, I like watching the video. I certainly like seeing my friends get hurt. Nothing like laughing at the plight of your fellow human being, so that's a delight. Also to see what these guys are doing. See why they always beat me so much. I'm going to share it with them. Maybe they're going to learn something. Maybe they get a little idea what they're doing well and not so well. They're playing pretty darn well right there. That block by Ronnie just happened to catch the top of the net off a hard shot. So it's one of those things. This game, like many games, is a game of inches. I wonder what game is not really of inches. Ping pong's game of inches, tennis is a game of inches. Maybe billiards, because that's like a game of like quarter inches. Like you miss by an inch or inches, man, you've had a bad shot. But I'm just rambling at this point. I guess chess is not a game of inches. Is that a game or is it a sport? I guess it's a game. Really, measurements do not really matter. I guess if you have a clock, is clock measuring? It measures time, so yes. In speed chess, it's a game of some measurement. Hey, my alarm just went off. I've got to get to flag practice here before too long, so this is probably the last video I'm going to do of the day. Hopefully teach some high school girls how to screw up the game of flag football. So I'm going to Oh, look at how much his feet were in, by the way. Sorry, he's been wounded. So foot, he's got 93 feet. The good news, he didn't hit it, so it doesn't matter. But he's got more feet in the kitchen than Martha Stewart, right? Because she was in the kitchen cooking stuff a lot. I like that analogy. Entirely unimportant. He knew he wasn't hitting it, so he stopped his little jump. A winner! Hit it down right at the feet of your opponent, especially their opposite foot. So he's right-hander. That's his left foot. It is a very good way of winning a rally. Thus proven QED by my good friend Chris Torgerson. The highly skilled, effective, and impressive pickleball player Chris Torgerson. Not quite as impressive there with the dink that goes into the net. If you're going to hit a third shot drop, you got several options. Hit it really well, you're okay. Hit it too short, you're in the net, you're bad. Hit it too high, it's probably coming back pretty hard. So why don't you hit it better? Hit it right just over the net softly. Now we're getting into the net game. Chris doesn't quite lift it just enough there. He's usually quite good. He's an aggressive dinker. So when they get to the court, you'll see him really press it wide, put some spin on it and stuff like that, just like he's going to do right there. And that time he hits the net, so he's just a little off. 3-2-1's the score I heard. Jeremy has a good third shot drop. Sarah handles it to Ronnie's backhand. I like that. Severe shot there, and then a winner. That is the way to play the game of pickleball, folks. Move him so much that he's really beleaguered. Let's just see where he is, right? So this shot to Jeremy, he lets it bounce. That's at his right foot. The fact that he got this back is really impressive. I mean, that's going to be a tough ball to get. Somehow he gets around it, flicks his little wrist, and gets it up. So he makes Chris hit it one more. And unfortunate for Ronnie and Jeremy, Chris is up to said task and wins the rally. With that, they will go to their next serve, and Ronnie will fire to the lovely, talented Miss Sarah. Let's talk about Sarah a little bit. She's only been playing for 6 months, almost 7 months, and she cray good. She is going to be crazy good eventually. Those are all technical terms, folks. You can see she moves well. She keeps her eye on the ball really well. Look at that. She's like pointing at it, even though it's her partner see it. That's a good technique, keeping the paddle kind of pointed at the ball. As it moves over, she's going to continue to point it. Now this ball's coming at her feet. Let's see what she does here. It's a tough shot. She lifts it just enough to get a little net love. We're having a good rally, by the way. I think it's a little more swing than she needed, but it works out well. All right, Chris serves. Sarah goes drive. Looks like it's come to Jeremy. And in fact, it goes to the camera. You're putting my high-definition camera at risk there, Sarah. Settle down there, Tiger. These things are not free. They are reasonably expensive. And I don't want to replace it. Just the fact that your violent pickleball game puts it at risk concerns me greatly. Looks like Jeremy's entirely, at this point, resuscitated himself and no longer needs convalescence from his wound to his, I don't know, I assume it's kind of his, in his womb area, in his uterine area, maybe more the fallopian tubes. I don't know. It hit him right down there in the business, no matter what. I'm not a biologist, so I'm not sure exactly what body part it entails. Chris Torgerson. Jeremy. Chris Torgerson. Jeremy. Chris Torgerson. Jeremy gets the better of that duel. Sarah. Ronnie, good drive deep. They're going to get up to the net. Sarah hits a good third shot drop. I lied. Almost good. That thing just caught the top of the net. Look at that nice, deep, soft shot. Chris and Sarah are going to be ready for what Jeremy brings. He goes kind of a dropping, drivey shot. I like the intent here 100%. She just misses your shot. So this is up. She's going to swipe it and try to hit it right between them at their feet. The problem is she hits it just a little too high. I think the form's good. I don't think she tried to overswing. She might have mishit it on the under pedal a hair. But all you got to do is practice that a little bit. You're going to hit that probably 90% of the time for a winner. I like that shot by Chris. Well handled. Jeremy goes left-handed, handles it. Catches Ronnie a little off guard. He probably wasn't expecting that ball. Got a paddle on it, but not enough to continue the rally. Chris goes middle. Nothing ever wrong with middle. Looks like this. Who cares? I was going to say it's really Jeremy's because it's forehand, but it's kind of going to Ronnie, so probably Ronnie's just fine taking that ball. The winner here is Chris, right? So Chris fires it down at Jeremy's back shot. That's a tough shot. So Jeremy, in a dream, and he's certainly a talented player, could hit this as a dink, but what he doesn't want to do is hit it into the net. So he lifts a little bit too much, goes over the middle. Sarah does the job of putting it right down the middle. So where she missed in her back end a minute ago, this time Chris earns her a pop-up, and she does with it as which she should. She puts it away right down the middle for the winner. Winner, winner. I'm thinking chicken for dinner. It's going to win this firefight. That firefight's won by Jeremy. Jeremy's a tall young man. Game of pickleball, that is of assistance. You get that extra, a little bit of height. That's more about the reach. He covers more court just with those long, gargantuan, ape-like arms of his. Nice shot down the middle. Sarah's not able to get enough paddle on it to get it back over the net. Not sure what the score is. They have not switched yet, so no one's at 6. I don't love Ronnie's shot, but it's good enough. It's interesting. Sorry, probably not going to be super interesting, people, but I'm trying to do it where the top, the apex of the shot, like Ronnie just hit there, right? So a lot of people say, oh, where's it? How close is it to the net? If you hit it especially high, like he's going to do here, but it's now coming down well before it gets to the net, that's a good shot. Now it's going to bounce a little higher than normal, but it gives you a little bit more room to air. So the fact that he hit it a little high, but the peak was probably right around the first of his kitchen, means it's going to be coming down and hit well in their kitchen. So it was a high ball, but still just over the net. That's a lot of explanation. Chris tries to kind of short hop it. I think he should wait for that to bounce a little higher and just give credit for Ronnie. Ronnie hit a good drop there. He was a little too aggressive with it, would be my read. Every once in a while he's going to get away with that. I just think the percentages kind of are against him. Trying to hit that ball on a short skip hard. Mr. Torgerson, Mr. Jeremy, Miss Sarah, Mr. Jeremy. Nope. Sarah's caught the net again. Still don't know the score. I need to hear it here. See what's going on. All right. We had some really good points early. My favorite one, of course, is the crotch shot. 5-2-1. Kids closest to us are in the lead. What a nice deep shot by Chris. Nice overhead, well defended. Good two-handed, not too much, not too little, and shot down at Jeremy's feet. So this is just smart play by everybody involved. So right here, Chris hit a deep return. Puts Jeremy in a tough spot. They're going to be totally at the net, ready to go. Jeremy decides to go lob. He doesn't hit too deep. Chris doesn't try to do too much with it, but he hits it hard. So they're going to be defensive. He hits it a little high. I love this shot, right? So this is not over the net by a whole lot. She's not going to try to slam it or do something crazy. She's going to firmly hit it and keep him back. Now Ronnie hits a defensive shot. This one, she's going to hit right at Jeremy's feet for that. So nobody played badly. The team that had the advantage was the net. They utilized the advantage to win the point. Not trying to do too much, but doing enough to keep their opponents beleaguered and back. That time it's a really good drop by Jeremy. A little net court love, and we've earned ourselves some play at the net. Ronnie was not up for the task that time. They have lost their opportunity to score because they're no longer serving. You can only score when you're serving in this glorious game of pickleball. And serving it is Chris Torgerson. That's Sarah. Things will be tremendously uninteresting to everyone ever listening to this. By the way, I pardon you if you are listening to it. Every time I play with Sarah, I go, it's me and Sarah, and then I have to break into song because there's I don't know what year it was. I'm trying to know what album it was. Me and Sarah Jane by the band Genesis. It's the later Genesis, not the totally pop version. It might have been on Avocab, though, and that's pretty much a pop album. But it was one of their more classic tunes. It's kind of a longer tune, a little melodic. It's got a couple different themes going through it. It's got a couple different key changes and a couple different tempo changes. Me and Sarah Jane is what I think of when I play with Sarah. And by the way, I also think about how fun it is playing with Sarah because she's so good when she hits shots like that. Me and Sarah Jane in silence walked along the shore, tears of joy and mocking laughter, words lost in the wind. I don't remember all the other songs, but you Genesis fans, and by the way, it's pretty deep in their catalog, Probably appreciate what I'm doing, all 2 of you out there. By the way, I noticed as I was warming up for this little nonsense, my outfit today, not only do I look nice with my Yola hat, I think it's a Yola. It is a Yola hat. My nearly matching shirt, which, by the way, I owe Rob Bateman. The reasons I own this hat. This was a gift. I played in a member guest with Rob Bateman. And I think it goes well with the court there at HCC. This is an outfit maybe I should employ when I'm out there. People won't know if they're going to hit at me or if they're hitting it at the out-of-bounds area because it nearly matches perfectly. Of course, it's a lovely ensemble as well, so add that to the reasons why I should maybe don these clothes the next time I head that way. When am I heading that way? Well, it's tomorrow at 8 o'clock. I'm playing with young Tony Roy. Tony Roy, tremendously more knowledgeable, known, effective, skilled at the game of pickleball, so I will be in for a great challenge tomorrow. Come on out and see it. It should be quite a battle. 8 a.m. HCC, located just off Dale Mabry. Better than that, come buy me breakfast ahead of time at Mom's Place. Mom's Place, located just north of HCC on North Dale Mabry in beautiful Tampa, Florida. They're not only a great place to eat, they're also the sponsor of today's video. Now, I did notice, I want to be aforementioned that Mom's will be adding $1 as a surcharge for any of their menu items that include an egg. And that's because egg prices are out of control. We have this thing called the bird flu going around. Apparently we're killing birds just like I'm hitting unforced errors in pickleball. It's happening all the time. Mom's Place. Tell them Brian Ridge sent you. Tell them next time Brian Ridge is in, they should give him a free meal. Lob City. Ronnie with a fancy, that's Barishnikov couldn't pull that off better. It was lovely. It's a half pirouette with a flailing right hand backwards that just goes a little wide. Awfully fine attempt. Glorious in its shapely movement. Slightly ineffective in its shot. Sarah's a little confused, but now is caught up with the rest of the world and figures it's her serve. Drive. Chris kind of caught Jeremy off where he had to jump oddly, but he was able to get his paddle on it. He does flail around a little. It was out. It was out. I'm not even going to back up. I know it was out. Sarah's got that deep, soft serve. That wasn't as deep as she'd like, but as long as you keep that deep, it's a really effective serve. Now, things that are not effective was this pop-up. So let's see this. It's a tough shot to her backhand. She's going to use her 2 hands. She's focused on it. She just a little off balance. Pops it up. Jeremy hits that. We talked about this before. Hit it the opposite foot of the partner. Chris is a lefty. What's the opposite of left? For you kids at home, I'm going to give you 3 seconds to figure it out. Opposite of left. Do, 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 do. It's right. It's it right at Chris's foot. Right at Chris's right foot. Correct at right. The correct right foot of Chris. Chris Torgerson. Ronnie. Chris Torgerson. Ronnie. Chris Torgerson. That's not Chris Torgerson. That's Sarah. Out. Jeremy with a rare correct out call at the net on a ball that truly went out. There's Chris with a good deep turn. And out it again. So we have a couple quick out balls there for a couple easy winners for the team on the far side of our film. Ronnie handles that nicely. A little net love. I like that shot by Chris. Well handled by Jeremy. Look at Jeremy force it to the backhand of young Sarah. Sarah was able to handle the business. They win the rally. Oh, I like that surprise shot. So Chris almost always drives this ball pretty hard across. Looks like Ronnie's in good position. He just is leaning now suddenly right, thinking it's going right, and just a surprise. Almost gets that ball in, though. So Chris getting a little tricky over here. That's a good return to a backhand. I always like that shot. They're keeping him back. Look at Sarah aggressively get up. So let's see here. She's going to be moving while he hits it, but you know, it's kind of a do or die thing. You're back. You want to try to work your way up. I think he hits this a little lower than she expects, and she just didn't hit it quite right. It's an aggressive move, but when you're serving, I think you should be a little bit more aggressive because you're at a disadvantage. So you don't want to give away points when they're serving, but maybe you want to be a little more aggressive on your serve. We go drive, and it's an effective drive, but handled by Jeremy. A little high here, but it looks like they're going to earn their way to the net. A little firefight, doesn't last forever, and we get to the dinking game. Jeremy really wants to put it on Sarah's backhand. This time they go middle. Chris tries to go down the line with some pep. Unfortunately, hits the net with a little pep, but the net was up for the pep. That net is made out of fabric that resists all but the hardest of shots. Let's see it. Let's see it. We have a little argument. How we coming here? We're going to freeze. We're going to go frame by frame for Watch that. Watch that. Shadow match the ball. Oh my word. That's a round ball. So I think it's probably out, but God bless, is it close. Super close. If that's a cubical ball where the whole circumference, which would not apply to a square, would hit the ground at the same time, obviously it would have been in. But since that ball was, you can see, was probably the mass of it was just beyond that white line, it probably hit out. But man, it was close. Chris thought it was in. Jeremy thought it was out. It's Jeremy's call. They talk about it. Eventually they decide, we're stop talking, let's start playing. We got a good little dinking battle here. Some patience from both teams. That's a good low shot. That's a good return on a low shot. We're looking Ernie. Let's see, did he touch the net here? That's loss of point right there. So his left hand is on their side of the court. He's reaching across. If he swings or anything, any part of your body without making contact with the ball on the other side of the court is a loss of point, just like if you hit the net. I don't know if his foot's touching the net or not, but his arm is certainly on the other side of the court, and therefore it should have been a loss point. Now you see his hands goes across on this side. That's definitionally, right? Because we see his hand and not the top of the net. Who's going to call that? Who's going to know that during the play? I don't know that he touches the net. His foot does. I don't see the net move, so that's not the issue. But he is on the wrong side of the court without hitting the ball. So technically they should lose this point. Let's see if ball don't lie applies or doesn't. These guys are Ernie. They're like a Sesame Street character here. We've seen a lot of Ernie. It's like watching PBS. They hit it out, so the cheaters do not win the point. Crime does not pay yet again. The rally is won by these honest folks nearest to the camera, demonstrated by Chris's excellent serve, a couple nice drives by Sarah, and then a shot well wide of the mark by Mr. Torgerson. We resume. Chris drive, pretty high. Swipey shot that was nicely in. Just like that, there's two services are done, and we move on to see if Jeremy and Ronnie can score a point or not. That is called a ATP. That ball is in. He hits it. We block by Chris visually. Might hit his, well, it might his foot, might not have, but either way, that is in the court. So what a great shot by Ronnie. That is an ATP for a point winner. He's proud of himself. Sarah's giving him some kudos. Glad we got it on the camera. Way to go, Ronnie. That's my second favorite shot of the match. We all know what my favorite one was. So does Jeremy. Jeremy! Mr. Falsetto knows my favorite shot, but that was my second favorite, ATP by Ronnie. Great drop by Jeremy. Nice press to her backhand. Nice press to Chris's backhand. Nice, nice. Nice shots there. So I love this shot by Sarah. We're going to press. We're going to press the other way. Then we're going to get a shot in the middle. Look how ready she is, right? Her job is to protect the middle on this because it's on the far side of Jeremy. She is ready, and she hits it right down the middle, right between them with some pop. Somehow, I don't know who got it, but somebody got it. Got enough on it to get it back. Chris handles it in an awkward shot, just not able to get the next one. I think it does best impression of Ray Guy, kicking the ball 63 yards, which, by the way, is a pretty strong showing for the game of pickleball. Game of football, 63 is also good, but 63-yard punt. Well done, Chris Torgerson. Soft service, hard return, and a pop-up. So Sarah hit a pop-up here. I don't see any reason for it, but it just happens, right? Just a little lazy, maybe. I think she shouldn't short hop that. Let's go back a little bit. So I think she steps back and hits this more in its peak, or hits it in the air. Is one I don't like her option. Short hop here makes it just a tougher shot. She has to hit it more up. She hits it up. Ronnie gets the job done. I think I murdered 10-4-1, but I'm not certain of that. And put away. I did hear 10-4-1, and that's the end of the game. What a nice play by everybody involved. What a beautiful day for Valentine's. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope your sweetheart did you fantastically on that day not too long afore.